This is something that I wanted to do a long time, and although it's not exactly what I had in mind, I pulled out laws within the Torah that would closely pertain to today. Originally, I wanted to do a series on each chapter, but the way I've chosen to approach this may be more impactful. The Torah consists of the first 5 chapters of the Bible: Bereshith, being Genesis; Shemuth, being Exodus; Devarim, being Deuteronomy; Vayikra, being Leviticus; Bamidbar, being Numbers. Do not neglect to read all the prophets, as well as all of the Old Testament. I encourage you to study the Torah on your own to grasp a full understanding of Yahuwah's laws. So with that being said, let's hop to it. Circumcision. Bereshith, or Genesis 17, 10-14. This pertained to the male Hebrew babies, and from the sounds of it, servants bought with money and brought in your house as well. This is my covenant which you guard between me and you and your seed after you. Every male child among you is to be circumcised, and you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall become a sign of the covenant between me and you. And a son of 8 days is circumcised by you, every male child in your generations. He who is born in your house or bought with silver from any foreigner who is not of your seed. He who is born in your house and he who is bought with your silver has to be circumcised. So shall my covenant be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And when he had ended speaking with him, Elohim went up from Abraham, and an uncircumcised male child who is not circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, his life shall be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. Pertaining to meat. Vayikra, or Leviticus 17, 10-11. This pertains to not eating the blood of any living creature. And any man of the house of Yashra'al, or of the strangers who sojourn among you, who eat any blood, I shall set my face against that being who eats blood, and shall cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make atonement for your lives. For it is the blood that makes atonement for life. Tattoos and cuttings. Vayikra, or Leviticus 19, 26-28, pertaining to tattoos, beards, and cuttings, etc. Do not eat meat with the blood. Do not practice deviation or magic. Do not round the corners of your head, nor destroy the corner of your beard. And do not make any cutting in your flesh for the dead, nor put tattoo marks on you. I am Yahuwah. Mediums. Vayikra, or Leviticus 19:6, pertaining to psychics, spiritists, contactors, etc. And the being who turns to mediums and to spiritists to go whoring after them, I shall set my face against that being and cut him off from the midst of his people. This would include horoscopes, tarot cards, etc. Nakedness. Vayikra, or Leviticus 20:17. We are not to uncover each other's nakedness, seeing each other naked, whom are not married to each other. There are several more passages on this. And a man who takes his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, and sees her nakedness, and she sees his nakedness, it is wickedness, and they shall be cut off before the eyes of their people. He has uncovered his sister's nakedness. He bears his crookedness. Also read Wayikra Leviticus 18:1 through 19, Bereshith or Genesis 9:20 through 23. Another example is the story where Noah's nakedness is exposed and Ham goes to tell his brothers what he saw, and then Japheth and Shem walk backwards with a garment to cover the father's nakedness and to be sure not to see his nakedness. Reference can also be used as sleeping with another man's wife and uncovering his nakedness, which makes sense if we go back to Bereshith or Genesis 2:24 and 25. For this cause, a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, yet they were not ashamed. Gossip and slander. Wayikra or Leviticus 19:16 through 18. We are not to go slandering or gossiping about other people, nor are we to hate other people in our hearts. Do not go slandering among your people. Do not stand against the blood of your neighbor, for I am Yahuwah. Do not hate your brother in your heart. Reprove your neighbor for certain and bear no sin because of him. Do not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the children of your people, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahuwah.